Hi, this is Lori of Lori's Happy Stamps, and today we're going to talk about Farmhouse Florals and pretty much alternatives all the way through. Even though I do 3 that look very similar to these, they are alternatives. So I have a total of 7 alternatives for you. And just wanted to remind you, we have 2 stamp sets this month, which are super cute and they coordinate with each other really well. If you are one of my subscribers, then we will have our Zoom on Friday, September the 5th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And you will be receiving an envelope like this in your mailbox by Saturday, and it's got all your bits and pieces to make the extra cards. So let's take a look at today's alternatives. The first card is very similar to the card on in the kit. Basically, you need one of the card bases, you need the sentiment stamped, and you need the window. And all I did differently was I stamped an extra row here, and I added the bling. And I really think the bling adds a lot to these. So I used some rhinestones on every card, and as a member of my subscriber group, you are getting a generous amount of bling this month. Then the inside, I just stamped "You Are Loved." So basically, it's the bling for this one that's a little bit different, and I think adds a lot to this card. The second card I'm going to share with you is the card with the basket. And I did not use the basket bump up. I used it for something else. So this card, I added the bling. I really like that. And I have the 3 dimensional flowers that I've bumped up. And I added the "For You" and the bow here. Actually, everything is exactly like the card that they're showing, but it doesn't have the bumped up basket. Like I said, I used it on another card, and you'll see that shortly. What I did do is I used a mask, and so I wanted to show you on the card itself, in the kit, they stamped right across here, and I didn't want to do that, but I wanted my stamping to go across. So what I did is I created a mask, and I laid my mask right out over here. I cut it out, I traced around it, cut it out, and then I stamped right across with my stamp, and so I can use my mask for my next card. So that's a good little hint for card number 2. On card number 3, I did a mask as well, and I will show you that card. Again, I did not want to use the typewriter because I wanted to use it on another card. I added some bling here that I thought was really cute. I added the 2 bumped up flowers here, but then again I created a mask, and I made a mask of the typewriter and this little note right here. So my mask looks like this, and I will simply lay it over my typewriter like that, and then stamp my long stamp right across it to get that image, so it doesn't interfere with the typewriter itself. And then the inside, I just have the to say hello. And oh, for the outside, I added some flowers. And I did actually different envelopes. I did different flowers, so I forgot to share that with you. So then the fourth card. Let's see, and what did I do? Oh, and I added the I don't know, the dots on that one. So each card envelope, I added a little bit something different. Okay, so now we have alternative card with a cutout. So what I did for this card is I actually laid my, I cut out the typewriter and I bumped it up on the inside here. And I did a little bit of sponge daubing around the outside. I added some of the stamp here and I added bling here. Added a little piece of twine right there. And I think it turned out really cute. What do you think? I like the cutout kind of look. And since I had an extra one of those, that's the cutout I did for that one. And on the live Zoom, I will be cutting this one out and doing the same kind of technique. So that is a cutout technique for card number 1. For card number 2, I am using 2 pieces. I made 2 cards out of this one piece. So you will be, and it looks like that on the inside. So for my card club, you have the gray, what's that? What kind of gray is that? That is the gray granite that makes the outside of the card. And then I took one of the card bases and I cut it down to 2.4 by 5 1/4 inch. So that makes the card base like that. And I've cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I used one here and I'll use one here. And then you need a piece of basic white 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside piece. And I took my focal point here and I cut it in half, so it's 1 3/4. This one is to the left. This one will be, of course, to the right. So it'll be facing that way. So my 2 cards will look like this when I'm done. And I'm using one of the pieces here for over here. And I'm adding a 1/2 inch strip of basic white. And I haven't decided if I'm going to use it in the Secret Sea yet, or if I'm going to use it in the sweet strawberry slush. So I'm kind of liking the darker color for this one with the darker here. And then again, I will stamp some of the flowers, add some different bling here. And I have got a floral piece that I will bump up and put on the teacup or tea kettle like that. Teapot. It's a pot, not a kettle, Lori. Remember that. Okay, I got it. Alrighty, so simple card, but you can make 2 cards with one of the focal points. All right, let me get this back together. I almost have it done. Sorry it's taking me so long. I feel like I have fumbling fingers here. And I added the strawberry slush flowers on the front to go with the front of the card. Alrighty, so then alternative number 3 is, I am calling this a faux belly band card. And so it goes like this, and it goes like this, and it opens up like that. So there you go, and there you go. So for this, I am using the Calypso Coral that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm also using a little piece for the piece right here that is 1/2 inch by 2 3/4. I am using one of the die cuts from the add-on dies with this month's kit. I'm using one of the typewriters and the little paper that goes inside, and I'm using one of the flowers. I also have a piece of Calypso Coral that is 5 1/2 by 1 inch, and it's scored at 4 1/4, and that is the wraparound piece for the faux belly band. You also need a piece of designer series paper that is 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches, and that'll be glued onto your faux belly band. The piece that goes here on the front, that is going to be 2 3/4 by 3 inches. And then you need just a little piece of scrap for the inside of the card. And for the white piece, you need a piece that is 2 3/4 by 11 inches, and it is scored at 5 1/2. So that's going to be just glued onto the front of your card base like that. You're going to stamp on it. And so I stamped my floral image and Forever Your Friend. I glued the DSP and the cardstock on there. Then I glued the belly band on the back. And so it flips nice like this. That's why it's a bow. And I stamped For You. I bumped up the typewriter. Oh, I glued the circle onto the belly band portion. Then I bumped up the typewriter on the circle and added the flower up there. And I covered my own envelope. So, because we want no naked envelopes. So I stamped the image here that matches the image on the front. And then this is 6 inches by 2 1/4 and glued it on and then trimmed around it. So that's this piece here. So a darling card. And we also did another one that is almost exactly the same, except it doesn't have a circle attached to it. Oh, and just to let you know that this does stand just like that. And it looks really cute when it is standing. So it is a standing card. And that is alternative number 3. Alternative number 4, like I said, is very similar. And I'm using Cajun Craze and Secret Sea for this one with some designer series paper. So we're using the pecan pie that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We are also using a piece that is 1 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Then we have a 2 3/4 by 1/2 inch for the little flap area. We're using one of the baskets the handle of the basket. We are using the flowers that are attached. We are using one of these sentiment pieces, label pieces. We're using this same piece of white that is 2 3/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. We also have a 2 3/4 by 3-inch piece of designer series paper. This is the Boho Vibes paper. This is for the envelope flap, which is 6 inches by 2 1/4. And the card looks like this. I think it is so cute. So this is what the card looks like. Basically put together exactly the same, except there's no circle here. And I've stamped directly on my basket. I've bumped my handle up with dimensionals, and I added dimensionals underneath the yellow after I stamped the Cajun Craze right towards the bottom where I added that strip of cardstock. I glued this piece here, and then I added bling onto it. And then on the inside, I added a bigger piece of designer series paper that I just had left over. And then for the envelope, I added my designer series paper and my stamped image in Cajun Craze. So, Secret C for this one right here. Alrighty. So that is card number, alternative number 4, but really like 7, because we didn't do 1, 2, and 3 exactly like the card, like the directions explained. And then for alternatives 5 and 6, we are doing some paper piecing. And so for this card, it looks like this. I took a white card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I ran it through my embossing machine, and this one is the weave, but you can use any embossing image that you, or folder that you want. I, to make my paper piecing, well, I stamped on the circle, the white circle, and to create my kettle, what I did, my teapot, is I stamped the image in black, and then I fussy cut around it. I poked a hole in the center and cut around here. So that's how I got this, and it's on the back side that I used. So I stamped on the side that I wasn't going to use, so none of my lines would show, and then I fussy cut it and glued it on there. Then I added a strip here under just a note, added some bling, and on the inside, good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other, and I'm using Darling Duckling and a strawberry slush, and I added a piece here. For the envelope, I did the flap and added a sprig of the strawberry slush flowers. I just think that's such a fresh and cute card. I love it so much. I hope that you like that too. And again, if you are a member of my subscribers, then you're receiving all the images and the designer series paper, or all the die cuts and the designer series paper and the bling to make your card. You just need to add your own white card base. So that is card number 5. And card number 6 is, again, the same thing. Since we worked on a new technique, we might as well use the technique all the way through. So for this card, it's exactly the same, except different colors. So I added the, let's see here. There you go. I added the, let's see, it's Lost Lagoon and the Berry Burst this time to go with the Designer Series paper. And the paper and the stamping inside is the same kind of thing. So I, again, used the basket weave and really recommend that one. But any embossing folder works. And again, I stamped in black on the side that I was not going to use and cut it out, so I got that image. So there you go. 6, 7, 8, 9 different ways to use your kit. I hope you enjoy it and have a good time. And for my people, I will see you on September the 5th on Zoom. Take care.